Hello YouTube, Nalynna here. I am back with another furnishing video. This is part of my mega multi-purpose builds that I had did for Newcrest. We are working on one of the apartments within the lot. This apartment is actually, the apartment runs on the second floor. It has a first floor entrance, which is part of this blue building that we saw there. So this apartment runs up top across the restaurant, which you actually have a view of downstairs. I also decided that we would create a balcony here just to kind of separate the, oops, just to separate the top of the entrance of the restaurant. I didn't want it to have like the same roof that the rest of the buildings were having, especially the buildings that were houses. So I decided that we could go ahead and just put the balcony there. I also did not want the apartment to run completely across there, as I was trying to create different heights for each building and different overall looks. I just didn't want it to be flat. I wanted it to look, really interesting and just different and have all these different dimensions. So I went ahead and just decided that there would be a balcony there. Initially, the balcony was meant to be for the one floor apartment, because the neighboring apartment actually has 2 floors. I think it's 2 floors. I keep feeling like it's 3 floors, but I'm pretty sure it's just only 2 floors. And that apartment actually goes across the laundromat and across the onto the flower shop, and that's where it takes up that whole space. So that neighboring apartment is actually really huge, and I'm pretty sure I've already done the layouts for next door and for this apartment here. Like, I kind of already saw what was going to happen, um, just as I was creating the layouts for this particular side. I think that was excuse me, that was part of like the sectioning that I had done when I was furnishing the downstairs stores. So these upper apartments already had their layout. Again, I'm not sure if the layouts exist in the unfurnished version or if I just completely left them alone. There might be some random walls pieced together just because of the way that I put things when I was building. I may not have knocked down any walls, and I probably should have knocked them down just because I really want anyone who wants to go ahead and furnish this themselves and just kind of design it themselves to have more liberties and freedom. So yeah, I'm not really sure how many people are gonna endeavor to take on this kind of challenge. This is just something I really wanted to work on, just to kind of give myself like the sense of the way that you can feel like the city is alive or your town is alive, the way that you do in Windenburg, because Windenburg has all of these like lots that you cannot travel to them exactly, but you can walk to them, and they exist and they're so pretty. And those like little places have like all these interactions going on, all these people walking around, people are stopping like to play on a random chessboard, and I thought that was really cute. um, so yeah, that's something that I also really want to do when I play. I want to like visit more of those lots and just kind of go and like paint a painting and like go and like have a drink or like play basketball or something. They have so many really cool lots, and I'm just like, I love it. I think it's amazing. And they're really, really pretty too. Like, they have some of these little gardens. Um, you can kind of go sit at. They have benches and things, and just like little landscapey areas with like water fountains, and they're just so freaking pretty. And I feel bad because I don't really take my sim outside that much, which I should, just so that I can see them. I did experience that one time when I went to a few places in Windenburg, and I feel like maybe there they have a lot of those little sections. They also have little places like that when you go to city living. So that's the kind of experience I was trying to create here. And yeah, so that's what I was going for. Only in a more active manner. And there's, of course, a lot of things that I'm going to have to test out to see if my idea is going to work. But hopefully, I can replicate that in this build. So, yeah, I'm going to let you know. I think I'm going to do that soon. So I just want to mention that the this apartment was meant to be like really grungy and run down looking and like it's supposed to be like cheap. And again, I thought that maybe the person who lived here as well could probably work in one of the shops downstairs. And but turns out that I couldn't find a couch that looked beat up enough for me, and I really didn't want to download CC for that because I do want the community to be able to download this and play it, despite the fact that I am not being restrictive on my packs. I think the next apartment I'll try to only use base game items, but I really don't want to do that for this build because it's just so massive. I'm gonna like need a lot of items to kind of fill up the space. Again, this house is not 100% like bare the way that I was hoping to do. So this is like apartment number 3 that it's got like it's pretty full. It's not like empty and like so it's probably gonna cause trouble um, to load a little bit depending on your computer situation. So I will be changing the wallpapers to the non-apartment wallpapers, so like base game wallpapers. The apartments one have like this little grunge look that at the end of it, I was just like, whatever is gonna come with the apartment, bathroom and kitchen, they can have like little items that don't look 100% like crisp and but as far as the furniture goes, I just kind of went with the all black apartments. I was gonna have initially a woman living here, but I've already got one house, which is a greenhouse, that I know there's a female that lives there for sure. She's the one who owns the flower factory. Then there is the family over at the first house that I showed off that we furnished. And so this one I figured there could be a guy here. Changed my mind about it being a female. Um, so it's going to be a young guy who is probably going to work downstairs in the restaurant. And he owns a cat. He's got a little girl cat, which is what I was thinking. Like the detail of them having to have a cat was like, I need to have a cat in this build. There has to be pets here. He's alone right now. He's just a single young man. So he has a pet, and his pet just happens to be a cat who I imagine he's like really sweet to and loves very much. Also, because I wanted to include things from the packs, I decided to go ahead and give him like a DJ booth. So he's really into music as well. I know I had the little girl in the first builds kind of have a piano and she's into music. I decided to also have him into music. I didn't add like any instruments though, so I was imagining a guitar most likely. That way, he I don't have any like repeated items aside from like bathroom stuff, but like no repeated items. And then I wanted there to be no closet here, the way that I did in the other house. So I just kind of went with like this traveling do-it-yourself closet because this apartment is really small, so you have to kind of maximize your space. And so trying to maximize the space meant that I had to kind of push his bed towards the corner. There's a lot of windows in that room. Like, I kind of wondered if I should have put the living room on this side and then kind of did something interesting with the kitchen instead of putting it over on the corner. But initially, while I was thinking about the layout, I had already considered the way things could flow a little bit better. So that's really how I made my decision on having the bedroom all the way over there. Even though I think, um, There's enough windows everywhere else. But anyway, the reason why I brought that up is because I kind of had to squish his bed over to the corner, and I really wanted his workspace to have enough light coming in, so he wouldn't get like tired of just being in the room all the time and being dark. Like there's a lot of dark colors, and I imagine that he works late nights and like is sleeping mostly throughout the day. And so like on those rare days where he's not out during the nighttime and he can wake up during the day, like he's gonna want to have good enough light to work in and like just a nice environments. At this point in the build, I was like, okay, don't overclutter it. I was supposed to not even clutter this apartment this much. Like it's got some items that are kind of mushed together. Um, but it's just because I kind of want each apartment to have their necessities. Like, okay, the robe is not a necessity, but like the towel is, and um, things in the kitchen mostly. I needed to change, or I wanted, or felt like they should be included because there's just some things that I guess are in the kitchen, and I don't know about everyone else's kitchen. Do you have everything 100% put away, or do you also keep things out where it's like, I know I'm gonna need this, I use it every single time, so I just want to keep it out? Like, that's just the way that I am, and that's really why I have clutter mess everywhere because there are things that I'm just like, I use this often, so I keep it out. I don't want to go digging for it. But maybe I should put it away. But I do that. Let me know if you do that. I don't know. Should we be putting away our items? Is it a big deal? Um, I don't know. Maybe it's not as big of a deal as I'm making it. Like I literally kept this basket on my chair. I've had it out my chair for about 2 weeks. And every day, whenever I decide to sit on my computer, I pick it up and it has my sketchbook. It has some sketchbooks, sketch pads inside, markers, pencils. Then I had more sketchbooks on top of it, more markers, more other things, more paper, just paper. And I kept it on my chair because I said, you know what, when I'm ready for this, I don't want to dig for it. And so I've been putting it on my bed and taking it off my bed for the last 2 weeks. And I kept out some notebooks. I haven't even touched it because I haven't touched any of this traditional stuff. I bought myself an iPad and Procreate, and that's what I've been using. So I'm just like trying to keep it out to remind myself that I could use it and I should use it, and it'll be nice to get away from the screen a little bit. But yeah, let me know what you do. So right here, we're just putting together some clutter items that I thought might be nice to have out, make the kitchen feel a little bit more alive and just like someone's there, like I always like to do, make it feel a little bit more lived in. I actually did go around the apartment just to see if I could change anything, if should have kept it this way, if I should have just gone back to my original idea. At this point, I'm just looking for some fan letters because I feel like he's an online like artist and only online people hear his music, so he's getting like fan mail from them. So that's what goes there. And this is the end of the build. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if you would challenge yourself to furnish this ginormous lot and these different buildings. So there's the screenshots. This is the inside of the lot where the other buildings are. This is the main house entrance for this apartment. Here's the little hallway that we saw put together and the balcony that gives you the view of the restaurant's like outside dining area. We had a visitor here because I had to actually set the lot to be a restaurant so that I can come take screenshots because I didn't want anyone living here at the moment. Just so I don't have to deal with like money issues while building. And so we had a little guest. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this build. Give me a like if you did. And until next time, bye.